In the world of modern residential architecture, three elements rise above all: glass, stone, and soul. This is not merely about structures, it's about storytelling, serenity, and sophisticated design. In this episode, we delve into homes that merge transparency, texture, and warmth into livable masterpieces that redefine indulgence. Glass is more than a building material, it's a philosophy. It invites the outside in, erasing the line between nature and nurture. Expansive glazing turns every hour into golden hour, allowing homeowners to live immersed in light and landscape. It speaks of openness, fluidity, and freedom. Stone, by contrast, is ancient and anchoring. It grounds modern homes in a timeless dignity, connecting structures to the earth. Whether it's hand-chiseled limestone or sleek basalt cladding, stone provides texture, strength, and a sense of permanence that complements modern minimalism beautifully. Modern indulgence is not about extravagance, it's about meaning. Soulful design considers how a home makes you feel, not just how it looks. It speaks through calming palettes, intentional voids, and emotionally resonant materials that whisper peace and purpose into every room. these homes, glass is not an afterthought. Floor-to-ceiling windows define the form, not just fill gaps. Entire facades are glazed to maximize views, create passive solar warmth, and provide a dynamic connection to the changing sky, making the home feel alive. Rather than decorative accents, stone in modern homes is structural and sculptural. Blocks of travertine, granite, or slate are used to define space, evoke ancient temples, or create serene courtyards. This approach gives the home a timeless presence, like architecture that's always been there. When glass and stone are juxtaposed, a powerful visual conversation unfolds. One reflects light, the other absorbs it. One is smooth, the other rugged. Together, they create harmony through contrast, offering both visual drama and quiet depth in a singular, luxurious form. Indulgence doesn't have to shout. In these homes, restraint is the ultimate luxury. Clean lines, open spaces, and curated materials cultivate stillness. Every element has a role, there's no clutter, no chaos. Just calm, considered design that invites presence and peace. Grand pivot doors made of steel and glass. Stone walls guiding you inward. The entryways of these homes are not mere transitions, they are statements. They signal that you're stepping into something curated, deliberate, and deeply personal. The layout of a modern indulgent home isn't just open, it's orchestrated. Living, dining, and lounging areas flow effortlessly into one another, often unified by large format stone flooring and ceiling height glass. Movement through the home feels natural, intuitive, and uplifting. Glass walls slide away, revealing patios, pools, and gardens that feel like extensions of the living room. In these homes, boundaries vanish. The design invites nature into daily rituals, morning coffee beside koi ponds, dinner beside a grove of olive trees. contemporary spaces, the hearth holds emotional weight. Stone-wrapped fireplaces become sculptural centerpieces, modern monoliths that radiate both heat and heart. They anchor open spaces with a sense of intimacy, drawing people together. While floor-to-ceiling glazing captures views, skylights sculpt light. Carefully placed above hallways, showers, or staircases, these apertures create moments of drama and spiritual quiet. They transform the ordinary into the extraordinary through light alone. Large glass panels might suggest echo chambers, but in these homes, sound is softened by stone, wood, and textiles. Acoustic design is subtle but essential. The result? A home that feels as good to hear as it does to see. Bathrooms in these homes are not tucked away, they are revealed. Freestanding tubs sit beside private gardens, stone walls enclose rainfall showers. These spaces are not utilitarian, they are rituals of self-care, indulgent in their serenity and sculptural beauty. The modern kitchen is minimalist but never sterile. Glass cabinet fronts reveal curated objects, stone islands anchor the space. Every fixture and faucet is carefully chosen. It's indulgent, but also intentional, built for daily use with artisanal charm. These homes use light not just for function, but for feeling. Sunlight bounces off stone floors. Reflections ripple across glass walls. As the day changes, the architecture changes with it, becoming dynamic, alive, poetic. Rather than relying on color, these spaces celebrate material texture. Rough stone, sleek glass, brushed metal. The experience is tactile, engaging the senses. This quiet approach to luxury emphasizes quality over flash, inviting you to feel more, not just see more. Staircases become floating sculptures of steel and stone. Some are encased in glass, others slice through atriums. Each one is an architectural gesture, a moment where form becomes art, and daily movement becomes theater. Modern bedrooms in these homes are sanctuaries. Floor-to-ceiling glass walls face private courtyards or canopies of trees. Stone surrounds muffle the world outside. Everything is designed to calm the nervous system and cradle the spirit. Pools are not just for swimming, they're mirrors. Positioned to reflect the architecture and sky, these water features expand the home's presence. Infinity edges disappear into the landscape, creating an illusion of floating serenity. In these homes, the structure itself is the art. Cantilevered volumes, stone cut with precision, panes of glass that seem to float, there's no need for wall decor. The home itself is the gallery. Whether nestled in the desert, the forest, or by the sea, these homes are built in response to their environment. The use of local stone, orientation for light and wind, and transparency all show respect for place, and a desire to live in harmony with it. Flush doors, hidden hinges, and sliding panels help maintain the purity of form. In these homes, a door might disappear into a stone wall or pivot silently from a glass enclosure. It's an indulgence in detail and discretion. Geometry rules these spaces, but softly. Grids, lines, and symmetry are everywhere, but they don't overwhelm. Instead, they guide the eye, create rhythm, and instill calm. It's a quiet order that feels deeply human. Privacy and openness don't have to conflict. Layered glass treatments, fritted, frosted, shaded, let light through while maintaining intimacy. This nuanced approach creates comfort without sacrificing the fluidity of the design. True indulgence is lasting. These homes incorporate green roofs, thermal stone massing, smart glass, and solar integration. Sustainability is not separate, it's embedded into the soul of the home, honoring both luxury and legacy. These spaces aren't just pretty, they're powerful. The hush of stone underfoot. The glow of sunset on a glass wall. The scent of cedar in the breeze. Every detail is tuned to provoke feeling, memory, and awe. In the end, these are not just houses, they are mirrors of their owners' values. Living in glass, stone, and soul means living with intention. Every detail reflects a desire for clarity, calm, and beauty that transcends trends. Modern indulgence is not about opulence, it's about presence, purpose, and peace. When glass, stone, and soul come together, the result is a home that feels at once elemental and elevated. It's a sanctuary of light and substance, crafted for those who value the art of truly living.